The visit of President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump to the United Kingdom was a moment that carried political, cultural, and diplomatic weight for both nations, as it was not just an ordinary meeting, but a state visit that symbolized the continuation of a long-standing relationship between two allies with deep historical roots stretching back generations. The invitation extended by Queen Elizabeth II to Donald Trump.
In the wake of the Charlie Kirk shooting, security concerns for President Trump as he and the First Lady head to London today. It's historic because Trump is the first U.S. president to attend two state visits with a British monarch.
Only offered to leaders who hold a position of immense influence on the world stage. And for the United States, the visit represented both recognition and reaffirmation of its special bond with Britain. The key reason behind the visit
is because state visits are seen as the ultimate diplomatic gift. Cue the questions about whether or not Donald Trump really deserves it. But it is a powerful card that only the UK can play. Lord Simon MacDonald was head of the Foreign Office during Trump's first presidency.
It's not just about carriages and tiaras.
Was to strengthen the relationship that has long been described as the special relationship, one that connects Washington and London through shared values, common defense strategies, economic ties, and cultural exchanges. For President Trump, the trip was both political and ceremonial. On the ceremonial side, he and Melania were received with the grandeur of royal tradition, including an arrival at Buckingham Palace.
Senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is outside Buckingham Palace.
Much of what he does will be behind the castle walls, so he literally will be using the castle as protection.
And formal events hosted by the Queen. This was an opportunity for Trump to show himself not only as a leader of political will, but also as a representative of American tradition and power. For Melania Trump, the role was equally important as she embodied the cultural and soft power diplomacy of the United States. Through her grace, style, and presence, she served as a bridge between the formal political world of her husband and the cultural public world that often shaped
him, but ones that can make him feel good.
Great woman, great woman.
I can't see anything meaningful coming out of this on a policy basis or on a political basis. I mean, this is a vanity trip.
Safe is quite the operation.
The president and the first lady left the White House today, heading to London for a state visit. Melania wore a floor-length, double-breasted Burberry trench coat, so she's definitely ready for gloomy lunch.
How nations perceive one another. The reason for the visit was partly tied to the changing dynamics of Britain itself, as the nation at that time was undergoing the complicated process of leaving the European Union and was searching for new economic alliances and reassurances of international partnership. The United States under Trump positioned
Well, my relationship is very good with the UK, and Charles, as you know, who's now king, is my friend.
itself as a key ally ready to discuss trade agreements and future deals with Britain. Once Brexit was finalized, Trump's team highlighted the possibilities of a new US-UK trade deal that could open markets, create business opportunities, and secure the economic futures of both nations. Britain saw the United States as a necessary partner in this transition, and the visit was a chance to publicly demonstrate unity and shared commitment to each other's prosperity. Beyond economics, the reason for the visit also centered on defense and global security. The United States and the United Kingdom remain the two strongest military allies within NATO. Their cooperation extends across counterterrorism, intelligence sharing, and joint operations around the globe. The visit gave Trump an opportunity to speak directly with British leaders about ongoing security challenges, ranging from the Middle East to rising threats from state competitors like Russia and China. The reaffirmation of NATO commitments and the emphasis on the continued closeness of intelligence cooperation were vital talking points, and these discussions were a reason the visit held such importance. On a symbolic level, Trump's visit also represented the United States acknowledging Britain's enduring role in global politics. Even as Britain wrestled with its own divisions at home, the presence of the American president sent a message that the alliance remained unbroken and that the shared history of standing together in wars, conflicts, and global struggles was not being forgotten. The royal reception in London further underscored this symbolism, reminding the world for Melania Trump, the reason for her presence was no less significant than that of her husband. She was seen as an important figure of diplomacy, especially.
Lord Kim Darroch was the UK's ambassador to the US at the time.
Our relationship with Europe, with the European Union, is very important, but in terms of bilateral relationships, this is the biggest. If we had bad relations with the US, which translated into high tariffs, people would be losing their jobs in this country and industries would be going bankrupt. So this is pure British interest.
In the realm of cultural exchange and international image. During the visit, Melania engaged with schools, charities, and institutions, showing an American face of kindness, elegance, and interest in British society. While Donald Trump focused on policy, defense, and trade, Melania represented the softer side of diplomacy, where gestures of goodwill and social interaction can carry messages that speeches and negotiations cannot. Her visit to hospitals, her participation in cultural programs, and her role at royal dinners added layers to the visit that extended beyond politics into the realm of human connection. Another reason for the visit was to commemorate the historic events that bind the two nations together. During this period, the world was marking the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy, and Trump's visit included commemorations with British leaders, veterans, and international allies. For both nations, this event symbolized the sacrifice and shared struggle of American and British soldiers who fought side by side in the Second World War. By participating in these commemorations, Trump and Melania honored that legacy and reminded both Americans and Britons that their present-day alliance is built upon the sacrifices of those who came before them. The ceremonies were solemn and emotional moments that gave the visit historical depth and legitimacy. Politically, the visit was also an attempt for Trump to boost his own standing at home. By being received with pomp and respect by the Queen, and by engaging with British leaders, Trump could show his American audience that he was respected abroad and that his leadership was recognized on the global stage. He used the opportunity to emphasize America's leadership in the world and to strengthen his own image as someone who could command attention and respect on the international scene. This public relations element was undoubtedly part of the reason behind the carefully choreographed visit. On the British side, the reason for hosting Trump, despite domestic opposition, was largely strategic. Prime Minister Theresa May, who was facing immense political pressure over Brexit, sought to use the visit to show that Britain still had powerful allies and could rely on the United States for economic and security support. Her government wanted to highlight the continuity of ties and to show that the turmoil of Brexit did not mean isolation, but rather an opportunity for renewal of partnerships. The royal family, by extending the invitation, also demonstrated that Britain valued continuity in its special relationship with the United States, regardless of who occupied the White House. The visit was also intended to highlight transatlantic cooperation in broader global issues. The leaders discussed Iran's nuclear program, tensions in the Middle East, the rise of global terrorism, and challenges related to international trade disputes. The reason for having these conversations face-to-face was to solidify shared positions and to seek compromise in areas where the two nations had differing approaches. For Trump, the visit was an arena to push his America First agenda while also showing willingness to support Britain's future. For Britain, it was a
time. Country's doing well. Stock market's hitting all sorts of records. And I think there's never been a time like this. We had a horrible tragedy, but we're going to have to do something about it.